I am Arelim Soel, and this is Arelim's Witchy World. The Morrigan just gave a transmission. I'm going to let her speak first, then I'm going to come back and ground it to human terms, more chewable, instead of such a heavy language, if you may. What it means for your 3D life, what to do with it, how I've seen it played out. Then I'll pull some cards for what else wants to come through. With that said, let's get right into it. Oh, I hope you don't mind the background noise. I live in Dominican Republic. I don't give a fuck. This is raw. This is uncut. I don't like editing too much. I already went through that phase. I'm real as I can possibly be. All right. I open this space in sovereignty. My awareness is the temple. My attention is the gate. I seal the field. What is spoken here is held. What is transmitted is protected. No energy enters that does not serve truth. No energy leaves that does not carry purpose. I am Arelim Soel. The gate is held. The Morrigan speaks. I am the one who decides who enters the battlefield. I am the one who cuts what does not belong. I am the one who stands at the edge of your hesitation and asks you a question. Are you going to stand there forever? Or are you going to move? I'm not patient. Patience is not my function. I am deployment. I am the moment when waiting ends and action begins. I am at the hand that serves, the thread you have been holding on to because it was familiar, even though it had been dead for years and years and years. You have been waiting for permission. You have been waiting for a sign. You have been waiting for certainty. You have been waiting for the fear to leave. You have been waiting for the right time. You have been waiting until you feel ready. Waiting, 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 waiting. I'm telling you right now, that permission is not coming. Not from me, not from anyone, because it was never someone else's to give it to you. The authority you are waiting for is already in your chest. You have been treating it like a question. It was never a question. It was a command you have been ignoring, because obeying it would mean that you can no longer pretend you are not the one holding the door closed. Go figure. I am the Morrigan. I do not come forward. No cuddling. I don't wait for you to be filled ready. I cut. I deploy. I move. Even if you're not ready. And I'm telling you, there's something in your life right now. A conversation, a decision, a door, a risk, a truth that you have been holding at arm's length, telling yourself you're preparing for it. You are not preparing. You're avoiding it. And the window is closing. I do not care what it is. A job, a leaving, a starting, a stopping, a conversation you have been rehearsing for months, a truth you have been swallowing, a price you have been afraid to name, a boundary you have been afraid to set. Whatever it is, the window's closed. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to tell you that the waiting is over. The permission has been granted. Not by me, but by the fact that you're still here, still breathing, still being given time to have been wasting on preparation. Oh my God. You do not need to be ready. You need to move. Morrigan holds the authority on who enters the battlefield. And I'm telling you, you have been standing at the edge long enough. Step in. The war is not somewhere else. The war is wherever you have been withholding yourself. Is that too simple for you of a concept? The war is wherever you have been withholding yourself. Move now, not when you feel ready, not when the fear leaves, not when you have more information. Move. If you need to know what to move toward, then look at what you have been avoiding. Again, is that too simple of a concept to you? And that is why It goes in one ear and out the other. Look at what you've been avoiding. That is the battlefield. That is where I'm sending you. I do not send you alone. You have your angels. You have your guides. You have your lineage. You have yourself. The path is already clear, even if it doesn't look like it, even if you don't understand it. The one who needs to meet you on the other side, they're already assembled. They're just waiting for you to step through. Your only job is to take the step. The Morrigan spoke. Channeling that gets my voice raspy for some reason. I don't know why. Let me sip on this coffee real quick. Hold up. I like my coffee light and sweet, like I like my women. I'll tell you that. But the cafe I'm drinking right now is pretty dark, just like my heritage. Fucking love it. We gotta grab that transmission and tone it down to something more chewable, because there is nothing fun from the message, or there is nothing useful from this if you do not understand it in such a way that you can apply it to your 3D. I don't know what spirituality means for a lot of people, but to me, like, it has to be something tangible, something that you can use in your everyday life. I did start my journey by reading books and whatnot. I did not understand most of the allegories and whatnot. And then I understood enough to just venture on my own. And now I learn from the doing itself. And then through the doing, then I find something that makes everything click one day. Because I'm not doing anything new. I'm not creating anything. I'm not reinventing wheels or anything like that. I'm just finding energetic engineering and complexity through my own trial and error. And then I'm able to put it together with what I find in the world, but after I already have an understanding of it, because I saw that just focusing on the books and the perspective of the reader was becoming a hindrance to me, because I was absorbing somebody else's methodology. I was absorbing somebody else's point of view, and I needed to be able to be sovereign in my own point of view. And so I take from all teachings and all religions and whatever the fuck is out there that can help me untangle what I got going on at the moment and make it make sense, including channeling so many entities that even I think it's insane, because I'm still in the remembering process. This is messy. This is not cute all the time. It's not perfect either. Like, you have no idea how many times I just said, fuck the spiritual, I'm not doing this, and then I just go focus on the 3D. And then whatever I was being told that was coming from the spiritual side of my life, that wasn't manifesting quick enough for my eyes, and so I let it go and focused on the 3D. While focusing on the 3D, those things would come through when I wasn't reaching for them. So, like, through a lot of like this and pattern recognition and a lot of writing, because I write a lot on the computer, not by hand, because I don't know, like, my energetic field, my brain, it just processes too much at the same time. So I do way better with, let's say, an AI interface, because I can give an AI interface a whole bunch of ideas together, and then we can just put it together in like a blink of an eye, instead of like me fucking up a word and then not wanting to start the entire writing again or some shit like that. So it's like a whole bunch of automatic writing, but like fused with technology. It's pretty intense. And then you have to add the layer of like the physical receiver, which is the most important one, because you gotta understand, like, I might be channeling entities, I might be talking to the invisible and whatnot, but like the invisible cannot do absolutely nothing without a physical vessel. because the physical vessel is the one with the density that can enact and direct the 3D. All these entities are all knowing in their own realms. They might be all knowing and foreseeing and whatever the fuck else they want to be in the 3D, but they do not understand human emotions. They do not understand feelings. So, like, yeah, there is a whole bunch of discernment that gotta go in there. But you know what? I started this wanting to give a human translation for what the Morrigan was saying earlier. And I don't know how I drifted into that, but that is exactly what I call channeling. Because then some shit just starts speaking, and then I don't know where it's going, and it just goes somewhere, and then it makes circles and infinity symbols and all these fucking geometries, and then it lands at a crazy realization at the end, for the most part. Yeah, it's pretty fucking interesting. But going back to the Morrigan and the message that received to the transmission, she had mentioned that you have been waiting for permission and it's not coming. But what does waiting for permission actually means to you in your life? Like, your brain might automatically go to the most pressing thing you got going on at the moment. But sometimes the issues are way more subtle. And hence why we overlook them, because we expect everything to be so fucking complicated to the point that when we see or are told that the fix is so fucking simple, we just say, hell no, it cannot be that. And then we just go continue and make everything more complicated just because we're humans and we can. Qué interesante. What that means for you is that you're waiting for someone to tell you that it's okay. You're waiting for a sign, a feeling, the right time. Most people be waiting for the right time, the right conditions. Oh, when I got this much money, or when this falls into place, or when I get my divorce, or when I finally have this threesome, I'm gonna be popular. I don't fucking know, bro. Like, was that not what you were expecting to hear? I'm really fucking open with the shit that I talk about. So the right time, like the fear to leave, permission, just permission overall coming from outside. But it is a permission that was always supposed to come from you, and not just suppose. It is supposed to come from you, not in past tense like it has to come from you. It's still in present tense. If you do not give yourself this permission, while the window is open, the energetic window of the world, and when I say that, I'm talking about the planets lining and what cycle you're going through right now, and where in the cycle you happen to be right now, and all the understanding that you actually hold right now that you didn't in the previous cycles of the same shit happening. What the fuck did I just say? Damn. Wow. You're waiting, but it's not coming from anywhere. It's from you. You give yourself the permission. And at this point in time, with all the knowledge that you have gathered, all the synthesis that you have put together, all the understanding that you did not have in the previous cycles, now you have to make a different decision and move. I feel like it had to do with that. Who was speaking? I don't know, whatever. Otherwise, the cycle just repeats again. And you do not want to repeat it because you're so conscious and you see the cycle through and through so well that seeing it play out one more time is going to cost you a lot energetically. Because they're just going to raise a whole bunch of negative feelings and not believing that anything is working and the frustration. And doubting anything and everything around you and nothing, and then you just become lost. You get like one of those compasses that just be going around and around and around and around and around, not finding the direction. And bro, all you gotta do is fucking breathe. Whenever you find yourself in that type of situation in any area of your fucking life, nigga, you need to unplug. from everything and anything. You need to go put yourself in such a position that your actual life does not feel like it can reach you. I'll give you an example of that. Sometimes that means leaving the city of where you live, like going somewhere that just feels completely secluded to your actual life, and go be still over there, because everything and anything that you need, all the answers, the guidance. I don't know what point of your. Oh, we gotta let him do the thing. Hold on. Oh, I can speak now. Thank you. So forgot my train of thought on that one. What you gotta do, name the one thing you have been waiting to feel ready for. Just name it. If it's more than one, then it's more than one. Don't be pussy. Write them down. But like, why would you be scared to own up your fuck ups? That makes no sense. You cannot be spiritual and be afraid to own up how you feel. To like recognize when you fuck up, like you gotta be able to own all that shit up, especially if you're walking in truth. Because if you cannot do that, then you cannot own up your feelings in order to transmute them. It's just not gonna happen, bro. You cannot just be thinking that it's all cool and dandy, it's all pink and rainbows and shit like that, and everything is supposed to be perfect and harmonious and blah blah blah. Hell no. All that goodness got a shadow side that you still gotta integrate and be okay with, because it's not going anywhere. You just gotta be able to balance them out. Like, answer this: looking at a thermometer, do you know when the heat begins and the fucking coldness stops? Now, obviously, looking at the thermometer, you can see that. Without looking at the thermometer, can you tell at which degree, with your own eyes, does that change? The answer is more than likely no. It's just a feeling, which I'm just trying to say that it's a degree of the same shit. Heat and cold are the same shit at a different frequency. One becomes the other. They're opposites, but they're the same thing. They're the opposite of the same thing. And it just a change in degree. Damn, I messed up that analogy earlier. That shit would have been fire if I didn't fuck that up. But you get the point. Once you name these things, once you have the balls to own up what the fuck you got going on, to own up that everything is that way because of the decisions you made, don't matter what external influences you had, because you still went through it yourself at the end. Does that make sense? Like, we have to own up our decisions. If you're gonna be listening to me, trust on that. So after you name those things, and just ask yourself, what would happen if I did it without feeling ready? Not perfectly, just started. Bro, two cards like came to my mind when I was reading that, and it was the World card and like the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is that nostalgia, that's that energetic, that energy, like the child energy type of thing. And the world is completion, but like, and now thinking into the fool archetype, what it means to be the fool, like, you already completed the hard work, if you want to look at it that way, correct? Cool. Now you gotta set the sword down, and then you gotta be looking at the world now with the same innocence as you did when you were a child, so that the new things can sprout from the ground. Wow, I like that one actually. Um, and you gotta be okay with looking like a fool while you do it. That's where the fool card comes through in that. You get me? Like, personally, I'm at a point in my life where I don't talk to a lot of my family for spiritual reasons. I don't have a lot of people in my life and whatnot. And one thing I can tell you from that whole isolation thing that I was going through, because I'm not that person anymore that needs the isolation. I'm now expanding outside. That's why you're probably listening to this, because I'm coming full public with it, because the entities don't want me hiding no more. And it's not like I was hiding. It was just like, it's a lot of fucking shit to channel, you feel me? I needed to have a better understanding of this before I just came out with it, because it was just too much. Anyways, what I can tell you from that isolation is that it's just so much easier to like pivot personalities, pivot points of views, pivot yourself, anything. When you do not have a lot of people holding you accountable for how you were supposed to be an hour ago or 3 weeks ago. Does that make sense? Because usually that people that you have in your life, especially people that know you from like really young, usually what they want to do is like remind you who you were, and that's who you are supposed to be. But like the moment you try to be something new, that you evolve or something like that, it's a dub. Like it just they not cool with it. That's why sometimes you just gotta go somewhere else and start anew. Because the thing is that if you really think about it, every time you meet a person, a brand new person, in a new environment or some shit like that, like bro, you decide who you want to be. You can be a brand new person right then and there. No funny shit. Facts. The Morrigan also mentioned that the window is closing for whatever it is that you got going on in your life that needs to be sorted out. And what that's saying is that the window of time attached to whatever you're hesitating on, like it's just not gonna be open forever. Like people be saying like what's really for you cannot miss you, blah blah blah. Like yeah, it cannot miss you, but it can take way fucking longer, and you will feel it in human terms because you can experience time. These other entities do not experience time the same way you do. Do you get what I'm saying? The opportunity to press on the door, it will close if you don't move. And then, yeah, it's going to repeat the same cycle, but it's going to be a whole bunch of different people, new faces, blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to be confused most of the time because you do not see the pattern. You do not recognize it. You're paying more attention to it now that I'm, highlighting it to you, because we all like working cycles, life unfolds cycles for the most part, but you can direct and command the cycle. Ha! And you can align to the energy of the cycle. Ha! And like a surf, like you're surfing. And when this window closes, it's not punishment. It just means to you that timing is real. Like there's a window of opportunity. If you do not execute in the window of opportunity, it's gone. It's gone. So what do you do with it? You have to identify what you've been avoiding. That's the window, and the window is not infinite, and you got to move before it closes. And now you might be asking, like, then how long do I have? Well, how about you don't focus on the time, and then you just focus on it, identifying, analyzing, and starting. And that way you don't have to worry about how long you have. Because if you're worrying about how long you have, then you're worrying about the wrong shit. I'll pull a card, just in case. And the window is closing. Getting a whole bunch of chills. The Four of Wands. Like, do you need more confirmation than that? Like, this is facing outward public. Shit working, coming together with the people that the shit is gonna work with. Like, what you mean? The stage is set. The stage is set. You just gotta move. You just gotta take the step. That was a perfect card to come out for that. That's crazy. So move before it closes, god damn it. You don't need to be ready. You just need to move. Readiness is a myth. No one feels ready. The feeling of readiness is not a prerequisite. Action is. You move. Reading catches up afterwards. The readiness catches up afterwards. So, and then at that point, you don't even need to feel ready no more. You just know you just gotta move. And then that's the thing with spirituality. You cannot say you're spiritual, but then you don't let the unseen do what they do. Does that make sense? Like you gotta know everything before you take a step. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Hey, I don't know much about the Bible, but and I'm not a religious person to be completely honest. But if you want to put into religious terms, bro, you cannot be telling God how to bless you. You can tell him what to bless you with. Like, oh, I want this, I want that, I'm working towards this, I'm working towards that. That whole wanting thing also doesn't apply in my language. It's more a co-creation dialogue than anything else. Like, like if you want to look at it this way, I talk to God like he my bro type of thing. And like we're business partners, if you want to put it that way. And it's like, yo, I got this idea because at the end of the day, I'm the one in the 3D and the one that can execute. And I understand that things come to me. I'm a radio tower. So once I know something is coming to me, an idea or whatever it is, I take it to my council, to the energetic entities that I work with and all of that. And then I'm like, okay, so what we doing with this? I see it this way, that way, this way, that way, boom, 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 boom. Then we put a plan together and then we execute. And then once I set out the structure of what is being executed, I have to step back, bro. I have to step back. And I have to step back not as like don't do anything. You got to step back as rest, but ready for when the things appear. Does that make sense? Because the thing is this. I set out the structure. I give the commands. I was in communion with the universe. And I told the universe was so. Now the universe is going to apply that and match it to my 3D. But that takes some time because of density. The unseen don't deal in density. So those energetic changes, they're immediate. But in order to see it in the 3D, it needs some time. It needs some time. So during that time, you gotta hold your frequency, and you cannot waver. You cannot waver. You cannot. You can for small periods of time. Like yeah, you can get mad. You can curse somebody out. That's not a problem. But like your overall frequency cannot be contradicting the structure and the command you just set out. Otherwise, you're not gonna receive anything. And you're going to really think that you're speaking with ghosts, and you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Because everything that comes out of your mouth contradicts itself and each other and everything in between. So the energetic world, the invisible, don't know how to meet you in such a way that you actually receive what you want or what they got for you, because you're just not aligned with anything. Because your whole life, it's facing outwards, it's external. You get that. So you take one physical step, no plan, no strategy, one concrete action, a message, a call, a walk through a price listing, a boundary spoken. That's moving. I cannot tell you directly, like, and specifically what exactly from your life needs to change. I can only give you general directions you want to look into, because I don't have context for your life. I have context for my life. So when I receive information from the 3D, not the 3D, well, yeah, from the 3D. When I receive information in the 3D from the unseen, I'm able to then do my research and inquiries and whatnot, so that I can apply it to what's going on in my 3D, because I already know how to put those things together. But you listening to me, you gotta do the discerning work, and then you gotta see where these things apply in your life. To what type of venture, to what type of friendship, to what type of family member, or maybe it doesn't apply to you at all, and the message is completely different. I can't tell you that. Not like this. If you need to go book a reading, I guess. Sure. But you get the point. And again, the battlefield is wherever you have been withholding. The thing you've been avoiding is the war. That's where you gotta go. The conversation you won't have, the decision you won't make, the truth you won't say, the price you won't name. That is not preparation, bro. Like, what are you waiting for? Ain't nobody come and tell you or give you the information. Otherwise, they would have already did it. Just like, ain't nobody coming to save you and you gotta do it yourself. It's the same thing. Once you have saved yourself and raised your frequency to such a degree that it is undeniable, everything that you thought you needed then appears. Because at that point, you can actually hold it and take care of it. And you don't need it to feel whole. It's just an extension. You get that? Stop looking for a different battlefield. The one in front of you is the one. Just engage. I just love how this is so authentic and Dominican. And I'm just speaking about things that, trust me, no one on my block it's even thinking about. Like, it's such a contrast to have this much spiritual, like, understanding and then work with so many entities. And I'm, like, in what they call in the United States a third world country, sitting in my living room with the fan off. I'm not even using a microphone, but I'm out here giving information that all these energetic entities deem is completely necessary and vital for others. And it's just such a contrast that I later go and have some crazy ass sex with 2, 3 females and then come home and smoke a blunt and go to sleep. Like, you would think none of these things go together. And bro, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever structure you were thought that life had to be that way or whatever, oh, I'm a perfect example that it don't gotta be none of that. And you can still be aligned. Because at the end of the day, alignment comes from within. It's not from whatever it's outside that then you want to decide what to align with. No. I'm pretty open and, truthful with myself. I work a lot on transparency with myself because I don't want to inflate an ego that doesn't serve me for nothing. Facts. Just one last card to close this out. Interesting. The Knight of Pentacles came out, and I'm using the Marsella deck. Usually that card speaks of, the steady messenger, but he gets there type of thing. And right now, what this is saying to me is that what it's needed right now is to be the complete opposite of the messenger that takes his time but gets there. Like, I feel like you just gotta make the horse go faster at this very moment of your life, and that's a fact. And again, I'm not basing this on like any actual meanings. It's just like what it's saying to me in regards to the conversation that we've been having. Most of those structures gotta crumble. Like, yeah, look, right now the Four of Wands is to the left, the Knight of Pentacles is to the right, reverse, and then the Knight is looking at the Four of Wands. Is like, you're not gonna meet what's waiting for you. You're not gonna meet the stage just waiting and hesitating or taking your time. Like, that is not harmony right now. You gotta break that cycle and go full force, pretty much. And this is definitely speaking about, materialism, material things, because of the Pentacles energy. And then again, the Four of Wands is fire. This is public facing, front facing. It's fast energy. That's why the slow energy of the Pentacles is reversed. That it cannot sustain. Wow. 30 some minutes. If this is the first transmission you hear from me, thank you for making it to the end. I'm going to close the channel now and end the transmission. The transmission is complete. I close this space in sovereignty. All energy that moves through this field returns to its rightful place. What was spoken is recorded. What was received is yours to carry forward. The gate is closed. The field is sealed. I am Arelim Soel. This is Arelim's witchy world. Arelim habló. Facts.